to reports, the Packers are one of several teams who are, quote, doing varying levels of homework on Utah State quarterback Jordan Love for the upcoming draft. Aaron Rodgers is under contract for 4 more seasons in Green Bay, but the Packers did draft Rodgers when they still had Brett Favre under center. So, Shannon, what does it tell you that the Packers are one of those teams doing their homework and trying to learn as much as they can about Jordan Love?
It tells me they're one of the teams seems like they're cramming for an exam. The hay should be in the barn. You should have done your homework, your scouts. You should have had all the tape. You watched him at the combine. You should have done all your due diligence now. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If you do select this kid, 2 things are going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is going to be very upset because you're drafting a player that inevitably is going to replace him. And second of all, you drafted a player that can't help him win right now. Aaron Rodgers believes I can win right now if you give me the right pieces. So, Skip, why would you not? Because it's hard for me to believe that Jordan Love is going to be the best prospect coming out of college at the quarterback position over the next 4 years. Aaron Rodgers, you're equipped to win right now. You have Aaron Rodgers. You don't go get another quarterback. You go get pieces that's going to help you win right now. Maybe you go get another receiver or put him out or tight end because you did lose Jimmy Graham. Maybe you get a tight end. The last couple of years, Skip, you see what they've done. They've shored up their defense. They went in free agency. They've been heavily involved in free agency. Skip, you got to go get pieces that's going to help Aaron Rodgers win. You don't get a piece that's going to help you, 4 years, 5 years from now. Aaron Rodgers is going to be upset if you take this guy. And Aaron does not strike me as a guy, Skip, that's going to say, you know what? I'm going to take this kid under my arm and I'm going to show him the ropes. I'm going to show you how to be a quarterback in the NFL. I'm going to show you how to be a pro. I don't see that happening. Maybe you do, but I don't see that happening. He's going to be ticked if they take a quarterback in the first round because everybody knows when they take a player in the first round, regardless of position, they drafted that guy to play sooner rather than later.
So maybe you're missing the point. Maybe the Packers have decided that Aaron Rodgers isn't the piece they need to go forward and win a Super Bowl. Maybe they've decided it's time to find the Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre. Maybe, what did this tell us, Shannon Sharpe? Because when I read this story, I believe it was Saturday on ESPN.com, Matt Wells is the new coach. He was last year at Texas Tech, but obviously the year before he was at Utah State. He recruited and then coached Jordan Love through his best season at Utah State, which was 2 seasons ago, before Matt Wells left to go to Texas Tech, where he was only 4-8 last year. But under Matt Wells with Jordan Love, and they lost, I believe, something like 10 starters on offense. But
they did, yeah.
That year before, Utah State went 11-2, and Jordan Love was 32 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions with 7 rush touchdowns. Well, I'll be the first to admit I didn't watch him that year, and I definitely didn't watch him last year when they went 7-6, and he threw 20 touchdowns to only 17 interceptions. So much higher interceptions, much lower touchdowns. So Matt Wells said to ESPN, 7 teams have called to ask me about Jordan Love. And I'm reading down the list and I'm thinking, Dolphins, okay, I get that. Saints, yeah, it seems like Drew Brees is probably in his final year. Patriots, they definitely are in need of a quarterback. How about the Chargers? They're really in need of a quarterback. And how about the Redskins? I never was a big Dwayne Haskins fan. They could be in need of a quarterback. And there was one other team on the list, the Packers. Well, that's the team that caught my eye because I've been trying to tell you, Aaron Rodgers' stats have slowly declined over the last 4 years, steadily gone south in QBR and completion percentage, south, 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 south. Each of the last 4 years falling all the way in QBR last year to 18th and in completion percentage to 21st. Wow, that's not very good. And obviously, Aaron Rodgers went to 1 Super Bowl and only one. He did win it against Pittsburgh, but that was almost 10 years ago. And since then, he's been sub 500 in the playoffs. And since then, he's been spotty in his playoff performances. He's had some embarrassing losses. He's had some pretty lucky wins, such as the Dez Caught-It game. And I can go on to how about the Mason Crossbar game? Took a 56 and 51-yard field goal that shouldn't have made it at all, but hand of God pushed both of them back inside the uprights at Jerry World to save Aaron Rodgers in those games. So maybe the Packers are thinking, gee, maybe we could steal an Aaron Rodgers later in the first round, because right now they're drafting 30th. I definitely don't think Jordan Love will last until 30th, though stranger things have happened, because Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people thought he was going to go first in that draft to his home area team, San Francisco. And Alex Smith went first, and all of a sudden, Aaron starts plunging down the first round, and he's sitting in the green room with longer and longer face thinking, well, what has happened to me? And he didn't go until 24, obviously, to the Packers. Great pick. But he had to sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years, and they rebuilt his delivery and they got him ready. So it was actually a great thing for Aaron Rodgers that he fell to 24. Maybe it could be a great thing for Jordan Love that he could now be in the Green Bay pipeline, but I think they're going to have to trade up some. They're going to have to go from 30 up to, 20-ish. Again, Todd McShay thinks he's going to go all the way up at 6 to the Chargers, Jordan Love, and he well might. I'm just not sure about him because I saw him in the All-Star game. I know I've seen his highlights, his YouTube highlights, but I haven't watched him consistently enough because I chose not to have a real read on him. But everybody says he might have the biggest ability overall, athletic plus big arm, in this draft. So maybe that's the guy the Packers are going to try to steal in the first round to be the next Aaron Rodgers, because maybe they need a next Aaron Rodgers sooner than later.
Well, Skip, if you think about it, when they gave up 37 points and they gave up like 300 yards rushing in the championship game last year, was that Aaron Rodgers' fault? No, I don't think so. If you go back and look at the history, when they lost to the Giants, they were 15-1, and they gave up 37 points to Eli Manning. Was that Aaron Rodgers' fault? You look at when they gave up 44 to the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game. Was that Aaron Rodgers' fault? Or when they gave up 51 to the Arizona Cardinals, was that Aaron Rodgers' fault? You see, what we see here, what people see at home, is that when the Patriots used to lose, no matter what happened, it was Coach Belichick's fault. Now, they give up 50, they give up 45, they give up 37. That's Aaron Rodgers' fault. And what would make Rodgers even matter if you traded assets to move up and get this kid, as opposed to getting assets that's going to help me win right now. If people believe that there's nothing wrong with Tom Brady, but there's something wrong with Aaron Rodgers, those people need to be checked. Because Aaron Rodgers is just fine. He's shown, give him a little time, and he still can make all the throws as we saw last year. So if I'm the Packers, I'm going to get pieces that's going to help Aaron Rodgers win. Not a nice Skip. It's kind of like right now. Now is not the time to be buying shiny toys in order to sit. Now is the time where we're living right now is to get things that's going to help us survive this. Having a nice little car in the garage or getting a new ornament somewhere that's, ooh, you see what I got? What good is that? So for me, that's how Aaron Rodgers is looking at it. Don't be giving me anything that's not going to help me right now. If it's not going to help me right now, it's doing us a disservice. And I'm going to be ticked off, and I'm going to let y'all know. Y'all know, hey, I start drinking that scotch, I'm liable to say anything. That's how A-Rod rolled. So if y'all don't want the man talking all twisted, y'all better go ahead and get him a receiver, or you probably should get an offensive lineman to replace Bulaga that went to the Chargers. That's what you probably should do.
So Aaron Rodgers is now talking about playing into his 40s. But if you look at some of his playoff wins post-Super Bowl, he got to play, help me out, was this not a break? He got to play Joe Webb as the starting quarterback of the Vikings. He got to play Kirk Cousins when he was pretty much a disaster for the Redskins. He got to be the quarterback in the Dez Caught-It game. He got to be the quarterback in the Mason Crossbar game. And he got to be the quarterback when Odell took his receivers to South Beach to sun themselves on a yacht to get ready for a game up on the frozen tundra, a playoff game against Aaron Rodgers' team. Was that not a big break for Aaron Rodgers? Because Odell dropped 2 big passes in the first quarter of that game. I'm sorry, his resume is not impressive. And one game that he lost was the game that he stunk in at Seattle in the NFC Championship game. So I'm sorry, his resume post-Super Bowl over the last 10 years is not one that you want to bank on for him to play into his 40s.
Blake Bortles. That's who Tom Brady beat one year to get to the Super Bowl. Blake Bortles. And guess who he lost to in the Super Bowl? Nick Foles. Nick Foles was so bad that the Jacksonville Jags was willing to eat $35 million in dead money. Say, get him up out of here. We want Gardner Minshew. That's right. I'm going to say that slow for people at home. Gardner Minshew won the starting role over Nick Foles. Nick Foles took down Tom Brady, and he can't hold a job outside of Philly. Let that sink in. He couldn't cut it with